Across countless cultures and ancient stories, there are beings said to carry messages between the heavens and humanity. Some guide us, some protect us, and some stand beside us in moments we never forget. These are the Archangels, powerful forces that watch over the world from beyond the veil. But who are they really? What roles do they play in the unseen realm? And why do so many people feel a deep connection to them even today? In this video, we're stepping into the hidden world of the 12 Archangels, exploring their purpose, their power, and the unique gifts they bring. And stay with me until the end, because one Archangel holds a place unlike any other. His name evokes both mystery and comfort, fear and peace. He is the one said to guide souls through the final doorway, Azrael. His story is far more layered than most people know, and understanding his true role may completely change the way you see life, death, and everything in between. Welcome to Mythic Mysteries, where today we reveal the hidden names, meanings, and mystical powers of the 12 Archangels you may have never heard of. These aren't just spiritual beings with wings, they're protectors, healers, and warriors of divine light, each carrying a unique mission from the heavens. While many know the famous archangels like Michael and Gabriel, few are aware of the complete pantheon of 12 believed to work in harmony across time, space, and spirit. Whether drawn from Christian, Jewish, Islamic, or metaphysical traditions, these archangels form a sacred circle of light. Let's journey together into their realm and uncover the powerful energy each one brings. 1. Archangel Michael, the warrior of light. Archangel Michael is perhaps the most famous and revered of all the archangels, known across multiple spiritual traditions as the divine protector and heavenly warrior. His name means who is like God, a rhetorical question that declares God's unmatched power. Michael is the leader of the celestial army, often called upon to shield individuals from spiritual attacks, fear, and toxic energies. In spiritual and metaphysical practices, he is known to cut negative energy cords, dissolve fear-based attachments, and empower the soul with strength and courage. He's a symbol of justice, protection, and divine authority. Michael is typically portrayed wearing shining armor and holding a flaming sword of blue light, representing divine truth, clarity, and spiritual defense. His energy is bold, fearless, and assertive, making him a powerful ally for those facing emotional turmoil, energetic conflict, or needing the strength to take brave action in life. He stands as the ultimate defender of light. 2. Archangel Gabriel, the messenger. Gabriel means God is my strength, and he is one of the most well-known archangels across spiritual traditions. As the heavenly messenger, Gabriel is believed to have delivered some of history's most important divine revelations, announcing the birth of Jesus to Mary in Christian texts, and revealing the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Islamic tradition. Gabriel is also the patron of communication and creativity. In modern spiritual practice, he is known to guide artists, writers, musicians, teachers, and anyone seeking to express truth with clarity and purpose. Gabriel's energy is pure, radiant, and powerful, often experienced as white gold or shimmering light. He clears mental fog, boosts inspiration, and strengthens your voice when it matters most. Whether you're seeking direction or trying to share your message with the world, Gabriel's presence brings divine guidance, courage, and a sense of sacred clarity. He speaks not just to ears, but to the soul. 3. Archangel Raphael, the divine healer. Archangel Raphael's name means God heals, and he is known as the supreme healer among the archangels. He brings powerful yet gentle healing to all aspects of life, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. In many sacred texts and mystical traditions, Raphael is called upon during illness, injury, or emotional turmoil. He works not only to restore health, but also to bring balance and peace. To the soul, Raphael's energy radiates with a vibrant emerald green light that's said to cleanse negative energy and accelerate recovery. He is also a guide to healers, doctors, therapists, and caregivers, helping them bring compassion and clarity to their work. Beyond health, Raphael is known to help with safe travels, locating lost items or pets, and reducing fear. His presence is nurturing, warm, and reassuring, like a divine physician who comforts with a peaceful hand and brings light to those who suffer. For Archangel Uriel, the flame of wisdom, Uriel means God is my light, and true to his name, he shines a radiant beam of clarity into the human mind. Often overlooked compared to other archangels, Uriel plays a vital role as the angel of wisdom, insight, and intellectual illumination. He governs the mental realm, helping us understand complex ideas, resolve confusion, and make wise decisions. If you're seeking a breakthrough in thought, a creative spark, or clarity during a tough moment, Uriel is the divine guide who gently clears the fog. His energy is often visualized as ruby red or golden light, glowing with warmth and deep spiritual power. Uriel is like a lighthouse for the soul. He doesn't shout or command, but quietly ignites understanding and peace in times of darkness. In times of conflict, emotional storms, or uncertainty, calling on Uriel brings light to the shadows and turns insight into action. 5. Archangel Chamuel, the seeker of peace. Chamuel's name means he who sees God, and his divine mission is centered around the energy of unconditional love and peace. Chamuel is known as the Archangel of compassion, emotional healing, and relationship harmony. When you're feeling lost, disconnected, or burdened by emotional pain, Chamuel gently steps in to guide your heart back to balance. He helps mend broken bonds, whether in friendships, families, or romantic relationships, by opening hearts to forgiveness and understanding. Chamuel also supports those on a quest to discover their true life purpose, aligning you with joy, self-worth, and spiritual direction. His energy resonates with the color pink, a soft, calming vibration that brings comfort, serenity, and emotional clarity. You may feel Chamuel's presence as a warm sense of reassurance during times of anxiety or grief. He reminds us that divine love is always available, and that peace begins within. He is truly the guardian of the heart. 6. Archangel Jophiel, the angel of beauty. Jophiel's name means beauty of God, and she is often seen as having a gentle, feminine presence. Unlike the warrior-like energy of some other archangels, Jophiel brings calm, clarity, and joy. She is known as the angel who uplifts thoughts, helping you see beauty even in chaos. When your mind feels clouded by stress, self-doubt, or negativity, Jophiel gently nudges you toward gratitude, harmony, and inner peace. Her golden yellow light radiates warmth and creative energy, inspiring artists, writers, and anyone seeking to reconnect with life's natural beauty. She also helps with decluttering, physically, mentally, and emotionally, so your environment and thoughts reflect balance and serenity. Jophiel reminds us that beauty is not just what we see, but how we feel and perceive the world. When you need help finding light in dark times or want to renew your perspective, call on Archangel Jophiel for spiritual elegance and uplifting grace. 7. Archangel Zadkiel, the angel of mercy and forgiveness. Zadkiel, whose name means righteousness of God, is the archangel known for mercy, compassion, and spiritual transformation. He is deeply connected to the violet flame, a powerful spiritual tool believed to transmute negative energy into light. Zadkiel helps us release deep emotional pain, guilt, and regret, encouraging forgiveness not only toward others but also toward ourselves. He guides us in letting go of the past, promoting healing at the soul level. His presence is often felt during moments of grief or personal evolution, where old patterns must be cleared for growth. Zadkiel's energy is violet or royal purple, symbolizing both purification and higher consciousness. He also works closely with Archangel Amethyst, and together they assist in emotional alchemy, helping us ascend spiritually while staying grounded in love and empathy. Calling on Zadkiel brings peace, understanding, and the power to move forward, unburdened by the weight of yesterday. 8. Archangel Haniel, the moonlight grace. Haniel means grace of God, and she is the embodiment of divine feminine energy, emotional wisdom, and lunar magic. Deeply connected to the cycles of the moon, Haniel guides us through moments of emotional, intensity, spiritual awakening, and deep inner reflection. Her presence is felt during times of transition, whether it's a life shift, personal transformation, or the quiet pull of intuition urging change. Haniel is known to enhance psychic abilities, especially clairvoyance and energy sensitivity, making her a powerful guide for healers, empaths, and spiritual seekers. Her energy radiates in soft hues of turquoise and silver, like the shimmering glow of moonlight over calm water. She helps us tune into the subtle rhythms of nature and our own intuition, offering grace and serenity through every phase of our inner growth. When you need to trust your inner voice or find peace in uncertainty, Haniel brings calm, clarity, and divine feminine strength. 9. Archangel Raziel, the keeper of divine secrets. Raziel, whose name means secrets of God, is known as the mystical sage among the archangels. He is believed to stand nearest to the throne of the divine, constantly recording sacred knowledge and universal truths, often depicted with a radiant, rainbow-colored aura that reflects his connection to all realms of wisdom. Raziel is the guardian of esoteric mysteries, divine magic, and spiritual enlightenment. His presence is subtle but powerful. He helps souls awaken latent spiritual abilities, understand sacred geometry, access the Akashic records, and interpret symbols or dreams with deeper meaning. Raziel is often associated with alchemy, manifestation, and metaphysics. He supports those on the path of enlightenment, especially mystics, healers, and seekers of hidden truths. Working with Raziel is said to open your third eye and strengthen your intuition. If you're drawn to ancient knowledge or spiritual transformation, Raziel is the archangel who reveals what was once unseen. 10. Archangel Jeremiel, the Life Review Guide. Jeremiel, whose name means mercy of God, is the archangel of reflection, clarity, and prophetic vision. He is best known for guiding souls through life reviews, helping them understand past choices and lessons either after death or during major life transitions. Unlike other angels who act in the present, Jeremiel invites deep introspection. If you're at a crossroads, struggling with decisions, or seeking direction, his presence offers calm perspective and wisdom. He gently reveals what's holding you back and what your soul truly desires, often connected with spiritual dreams and meaningful visions. Jeremiel is believed to send insight during sleep or meditation. His energy glows in hues of deep indigo and shimmering gold, like an ancient library filled with glowing scrolls of memory. He feels like a quiet, wise elder, always present when you need emotional healing, understanding, or spiritual growth before your next step in life. 11. Archangel Ariel, the Earth's guardian. Ariel, whose name means Lion of God, is known as the Archangel of nature, the elements, and the physical world. She is a fierce yet gentle guardian of Earth's ecosystems, wildlife, and all forms of natural life. Often seen as the protector of animals and the environment, Ariel works closely with nature's spirits and elemental beings to maintain harmony in the natural realm. She's also associated with strength, courage, and abundance, guiding those who wish to manifest their desires into physical reality. Whether you're praying for healing animals, seeking to strengthen your bond with nature, or calling on the energy of the earth, Ariel brings supportive, grounding energy. Her aura is often described as soft green or shimmering rose gold, both soothing and empowering. She reminds us that we are caretakers of the planet and encourages us to live in balance with the world around us, spiritually, physically, and environmentally. 12. Archangel Azrael. From the highest realms of heaven to the deepest pits of hell, Lucifer's fall is a tale of power, rebellion, and redemption. But who exactly is Lucifer? And why did this celestial being fall so far? Let's uncover the secrets of the fallen angel. The fallen angel, once the most glorious of all heavenly beings, now the embodiment of darkness and evil. Lucifer's story is one that has been told and retold for centuries, evolving through various religions and cultures. But beneath all the layers of myth, theology, and storytelling, there lies a deeper narrative that raises questions about freedom, pride, and the pursuit of power. So, sit back, relax, and let's explore Lucifer's dramatic fall from grace and his transformation from heaven's brightest star to hell's darkest ruler. Part 1. The Origins of Lucifer. To fully understand Lucifer's dramatic fall, we must delve into his origins, tracing back to his creation in heaven, before he became the fallen angel that would inspire myths, stories, and legends for millennia. Lucifer's existence began at the dawn of creation, in a time when the celestial realms were harmonious and the order of the universe was one of perfect balance. Lucifer was not always the dark and twisted figure associated with hell. Instead, he was one of the most radiant and beautiful beings ever created, crafted by God to be a leader among the angels and a reflection of divine light. Lucifer's name. Lucifer is derived from the Latin words lux meaning light and fair meaning to bring, translating to light bringer or morning star. This name reflects his essential role within heaven. He was created to reflect divine light and bring that light into the world. He was the shining beacon in the heavenly hierarchy, a symbol of purity and radiance. His very being was an embodiment of divine glory, standing as a figure of wisdom and beauty in the celestial order. Lucifer's role was not merely as a servant, but as one of the highest-ranking angels. According to some traditions, he was one of the Seraphim, a group of angels associated with purity and divine love. His beauty was described as being unmatched by any of his celestial counterparts, and his intellect surpassed that of all other angels. His presence was so glorious that it could not help but inspire awe and reverence. This made Lucifer an object of admiration and veneration, not only among angels, but also by God himself. This exceptional beauty, power, and wisdom became both his greatest strength and his greatest weakness. Lucifer's brilliance made him the most favored of all the angels. He stood at the pinnacle of celestial hierarchy, and this position filled him with pride. In many ways, he was the epitome of divine creation, a shining example of what God's will could accomplish. Yet, as with all great beings, this power had its dangers. Lucifer, despite his unparalleled beauty and wisdom, was not free from the internal conflicts that all beings, even divine ones, experience. In his heart, Lucifer began to feel something that would eventually lead to his downfall: pride. Pride, the flaw of believing oneself to be superior to others, began to take root in Lucifer's heart. He began to look at the divine order, which placed God above all, and feel that he, too, deserved such reverence and glory. This pride started as a small ember within Lucifer, but as time passed, it grew into a powerful flame that consumed him. The more he basked in his own brilliance, the more he believed that he deserved to be the ultimate ruler of heaven, not God. In his eyes, the grandeur and power he wielded seemed to place him on an equal footing with God. This shift in his thinking marked the beginning of the tragic downfall of Lucifer, and it set in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the course of existence. Lucifer's transformation from a being of divine radiance to the embodiment of defiance and rebellion was not an immediate fall. It was gradual, taking root deep within him. The more Lucifer's pride grew, the more he began to see God's authority as a hindrance to his own glory. He had been entrusted with immense beauty and power, but instead of using those gifts to serve the Creator, he began to desire to overthrow him and claim that glory for himself. Part 2. The Seeds of Rebellion. Lucifer's rebellion did not begin with a single act of defiance, but rather with a slow, internal transformation over time. His pride and ambition began to cloud his judgment and his once pure heart. As he grew more powerful and influential in heaven, he began to see himself not just as a servant of God, but as a being equal to, or even superior to, God himself. His power and wisdom, once gifts given to him by God, became the fuel for his desire to usurp God's throne. The rebellion began as a whispered thought, a subtle seed planted deep within Lucifer's mind. He began to think, why should God rule over me? Why should I not be the one to ascend to the highest throne? Lucifer's internal struggle grew more intense. He began to see himself not as a mere servant, but as a peer to God, deserving of the same level of worship and authority. This transformation was slow and insidious, a gradual turn from humility to arrogance. The Bible's description of Lucifer's fall hints at the arrogance that led to his rebellion. In Isaiah chapter 14, verses 13 to 14, Lucifer is quoted as saying, "I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High." These words reveal Lucifer's desire not merely to challenge God, but to become God, to elevate himself above the Creator and take control of heaven. At the heart of this rebellion was Lucifer's growing desire for independence. He no longer wanted to serve God or even to be a reflection of God's power and light. Instead, he craved sovereignty and authority, self-rule. He wanted to be free from the limitations placed upon him by God. In his mind, he saw God as a rival, someone whose authority needed to be overthrown. Lucifer was no longer content with his station in heaven. He wanted more. This desire for power and self-determination began to spread to other angels in heaven. Lucifer, with his immense charisma and influence, began to gather supporters. He convinced many of his fellow angels that God's reign was flawed and that they too deserved to rule over heaven. These angels, filled with envy and admiration for Lucifer, began to follow him. The rebellion, which began as a single thought in Lucifer's mind, now had a growing following, and the stage was set for the great rebellion. Lucifer's ambition was not one born of a simple desire for power, but of a grand vision. He believed that he could lead a new order in heaven, one that would be ruled by him, and that the universe would be better off under his rule. This vision became a consuming obsession for Lucifer, and he began to rally the angels around him, promising them greater power and autonomy. However, the more Lucifer focused on his desire to overthrow God, the more he lost sight of his original purpose to reflect the glory of the Creator. His mind became consumed with the idea of revolution, and he no longer cared about his place in the divine order. His sense of duty and service was replaced with a thirst for power and the very qualities that had once made him beloved among the angels. His wisdom, beauty, and brilliance became the tools of his rebellion. Part 3. The Rebellion and the War in Heaven. Lucifer's pride and ambition soon transformed into a full-blown rebellion. What had begun as a quiet and subtle desire to become God had now turned into an open defiance against the divine order. Lucifer's challenge to God was not just a personal decision. It became a movement within heaven, a war of ideas. As Lucifer sought to overthrow God's authority, Lucifer began to openly defy God's commands, rejecting his authority and promoting his own vision for heaven. He used his immense influence to gather a following among the angels, convincing a third of the celestial beings to join him in his rebellion. These angels, drawn to Lucifer's charisma and promises of greater power, began to openly oppose God and align themselves with Lucifer's cause. The rebellion was no longer a solitary act of defiance by one angel, but a massive uprising that threatened to tear heaven apart. The war that followed, known as the War in Heaven, was a battle of cosmic proportions. The armies of Lucifer, led by the fallen Archangel, clashed against the loyal angels who remained faithful to God. The conflict was one of unimaginable power and destruction, with celestial beings waging war in a realm that was once peaceful and harmonious. The war raged for what seemed like eternity, with each side fighting for control of heaven and the universe itself. Lucifer, despite his vast power and the strength of his followers, was no match for God. God's might and authority were absolute, and the rebellion was ultimately doomed from the start. Despite the best efforts of Lucifer and his angels, they could not overcome God's power. As the war reached its peak, God, in his infinite wisdom and justice, cast Lucifer and his followers out of heaven, sending them into the abyss of hell, a place of eternal torment and suffering. Their beauty, power, and glory were stripped away, and they became the rulers of hell, forever separated from the Creator. The rebellion, despite its failure, left a lasting mark on the universe. It was not just a battle for power, but a lesson in the consequences of pride and the dangers of defying divine order. Lucifer's fall marked the beginning of the eternal struggle between good and evil. Light and darkness, his rebellion, though crushed, would continue to shape the destiny of all creation for eternity. Part 4. Lucifer's Fall, from heaven's brightest star to hell's ruler. Lucifer's fall was not just a physical descent from the heights of heaven, but also a deep, profound spiritual transformation. This was not simply the loss of a lofty position, but the utter corruption of his being, mind, heart, and soul. Once the most exalted angel in heaven, Lucifer was now condemned to become the embodiment of rebellion and defiance. His fall from grace was a dramatic shift from his former splendor to the dark, desolate depths of hell, where he became a twisted reflection of his once pristine self. His pride, the very flaw that had driven him to challenge God, had now cost him everything. The fall was not a single event, but the culmination of Lucifer's deep internal rebellion, driven by a desire to overthrow God. This ambition had gradually consumed him, transforming him from a glorious angel into the dark force of evil we now recognize. Lucifer's descent was, in a sense, both a literal and metaphorical fall. He had descended from the highest celestial realms to the lowest depths of hell, where once his beauty and radiance had illuminated heaven. Now his very presence cast a pall of darkness upon the world. The radiant morning star, whose light had once been a beacon, was now the ruler of the damned. But Lucifer did not submit easily. Even in his new, fallen state, he refused to accept defeat or to bow to God's will. His arrogance, which had been his undoing in heaven, remained intact. He became the ultimate figure of defiance, perpetuating his rebellion against God's divine order. Lucifer's reign over hell was not one of submission, but one of continued ambition. In hell, he gathered his fallen followers, angels who had joined him in his rebellion, into an army of darkness. His leadership, though evil, was charismatic, and his defiance took on the air of sovereignty. He sought to create his own kingdom in hell, one where he would reign supreme, much like he had wished to do in heaven. The Bible's book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12, famously describes Lucifer's fall. "How you are fallen from heaven, O day star, son of dawn! How you are cut down to the ground, you who laid the nations low." This verse is often interpreted as an allegory for Lucifer's pride and his subsequent punishment. The imagery of a fallen star refers to Lucifer's descent from heaven's heights, and the term day star, often translated as Lucifer, indicates his once glorious position in the celestial hierarchy. This passage marks the dramatic shift from Lucifer's light to his darkened state, a transformation that left him forever at odds with God's divine order. Lucifer's fall also symbolizes the ultimate act of rebellion, the refusal to accept limitations and the desire for absolute power. His desire to replace God and be exalted above all creation has made him the epitome of rebellion. His fall was not just a loss of position, it was the corruption of his very nature. Lucifer's rejection of divine authority and his defiant pride gave birth to the very concept of sin, temptation, and evil that would haunt creation for all eternity. In hell, Lucifer ruled with a relentless desire to undermine God's work. He became the prince of darkness, using his powers to corrupt and tempt humanity, leading them away from the light of divine truth. His role as the ruler of hell is more than just symbolic. It is the manifestation of his eternal resistance to God, a resistance that would continue throughout the ages, spreading chaos and evil across the world. Part 5. Lucifer in Christian Theology and Other Cultures. Lucifer's story, while deeply rooted in Christian theology, transcends the boundaries of a single faith tradition. In Christianity, Lucifer's rebellion and subsequent fall are central to understanding the nature of evil and the cosmic battle between good and evil. Lucifer, as an angel of great power and beauty, represents the perfect illustration of how pride and ambition can lead to one's destruction. His fall is more than a personal tragedy. It serves as a cautionary tale for humanity. It warns of the dangers of pride, the quest for power, and the destruction that comes from trying to elevate oneself to the position of the Creator. In Christian theology, Lucifer is often equated with Satan, the adversary, the accuser, and the deceiver of mankind. While the Bible does not directly equate the name Lucifer with Satan, the association between the two figures has become entrenched in Christian tradition. Satan is the embodiment of evil and rebellion, and his role as the adversary to God's creation is central to the Christian understanding of spiritual warfare. Lucifer, in his rebellion, is often depicted as the first and most powerful of the fallen angels, the one who led a third of heaven's angels in a mutiny against God. His desire to overthrow the divine order makes him the prime example of disobedience, and his ultimate punishment in hell reflects the consequence of such defiance. However, Lucifer's story is not confined to Christianity. In Judaism, Lucifer is often associated with Satan, but with a slightly different interpretation. In Jewish tradition, Satan is more of an accuser or a prosecutor in the heavenly court, a figure who tests the righteousness of human beings. While Lucifer is considered a fallen angel in Christian doctrine, Satan in Judaism is not necessarily an embodiment of evil in the same way. In fact, in Jewish texts, Satan is seen as an agent of God's will, working to test humanity's faith and commitment to righteousness. In Islam, the figure of Lucifer is known as Iblis, a jinn who refused to bow to Adam when commanded by God. Iblis's prideful refusal to submit to God's will is what led to his fall from grace, and his punishment was to be cast out of paradise. Just as Lucifer was cast out of heaven, Iblis's story mirrors that of Lucifer in many ways. Both figures are defined by their refusal to accept God's authority, and both become embodiments of evil and temptation. However, in Islamic tradition, Iblis's refusal to bow to Adam is seen as a symbolic rejection of human superiority, marking a key difference in the theological interpretation of the fall. Throughout various mythologies, Lucifer's fall from grace finds echoes in stories of defiant figures who rebel against the gods. In Greek mythology, the story of Prometheus, the titan who defied Zeus to bring fire to humanity, bears a striking resemblance to Lucifer's rebellion. Like Lucifer, Prometheus sought to empower humanity, challenging the divine order for what he believed was a noble cause. Both figures sought to elevate themselves and their creations by defying the supreme gods, and both were punished for their actions. Across these diverse traditions, Lucifer represents more than just a figure of evil. He embodies the archetype of the rebellious hero, a tragic figure whose pride and ambition lead to his downfall. His story serves as a reminder that the quest for power and dominance can lead to destruction, and that even the most exalted beings can fall from grace if they abandon humility and divine order. Part 6. The Symbolism of Lucifer, Light and Darkness. Lucifer's story is rich with symbolism that transcends his status as a fallen angel. His name, Lucifer, meaning light-bringer or morning star, is deeply ironic, especially given that he is now associated with darkness, sin, and evil. This duality of light and darkness gives his character a complexity that makes him one of the most fascinating figures in religious and mythological narratives. Lucifer's initial role as the bringer of light symbolized his exalted position as a beacon of illumination in heaven. He was the one who heralded the morning, the one whose radiance shone brightly among the angels. However, this light was not merely a physical manifestation. It represented knowledge, wisdom, and beauty, qualities that made Lucifer one of the most powerful and revered beings in the heavenly hierarchy. Yet, his fall from grace demonstrates the perilous nature of such power. Lucifer's rebellion can be interpreted as an attempt to bring light to the world, not the true light of God, but a light of his own creation, one that would empower him to rival the Creator. In his pride, Lucifer believed that he could redefine the very nature of light itself. His desire to bring this new light to the world, however, blinded him to the truth. He became unable to distinguish between true light, the light of God, and a mere illusion of power, a false light that served only his own ambition. This duality, light and darkness, becomes central to Lucifer's character. He represents both the potential for greatness and the tragic consequences of overreaching. His fall is a cautionary tale about hubris, the excessive pride that often leads to ruin. In Greek mythology, the concept of hubris was a key element in the stories of fallen heroes, and Lucifer's tale mirrors this archetype perfectly. The gods, in their wisdom, understood that those who sought to elevate themselves above their station would ultimately suffer. For their arrogance, Lucifer's pride, like that of many mythological figures, led him to overstep the boundaries of his nature, and this led to his ultimate fall. Lucifer also symbolizes the eternal struggle between light and darkness, good and evil. His rebellion and subsequent fall represent the consequences of forsaking divine order in favor of self-determined power. His story is one of tragedy, as he sought to become greater than the very being who had created him. In the end, Lucifer's fall is a reflection of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the devastating impact of pride on the soul. As the ruler of hell, Lucifer remains a symbol of defiance and rebellion, but also of the corruption that comes with power. He embodies the darkness that arises when divine wisdom is abandoned in favor of personal will. His story serves as a timeless warning of the consequences of turning away from the divine light in favor of self-serving ambitions. The enduring legacy of Lucifer. Lucifer's fall from grace is one of the most enduring stories in human history. From a powerful, radiant angel to the ruler of hell, his journey represents the eternal struggle between light and dark, good and evil, and pride and humility. It's a story that continues to resonate through centuries, offering lessons on the consequences of ambition and the dangers of defying divine authority. But what do you think? Is Lucifer truly evil, or is he a tragic figure in search of redemption? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating figures in mythology, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling tales from Mythic Mysteries.